What is going on, beautiful people? Chris coming to you with another one of my crazy Crossroads vlog edition. And like I promised a couple of weeks ago, but hey, life gets in the way. My boy, Tom. Guys, he has an amazing story. I started to tell you a little bit about it, but it's much better coming from the horse's mouth itself. Tom is not just a wonderful, wonderful brother, dude. He's an inspiration. He's a family man first and foremost, wonderful husband and an amazing father. He comes in the gym all the time with his kids, and to me, that's number one. But Tom, I appreciate you coming on, man. This is my other family here. Tom is suffering, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's.
No, not Parkinson's.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It looks like Parkinson's, and it's a cross between Parkinson's and cerebral palsy.
Okay.
It's called essential tremors.
Okay.
And I was diagnosed with, they call as advanced stages.
Okay.
Essential tremors, which causes me, if I didn't have the medicine I was on right now, I wouldn't be able to sit here. Like,
Okay.
I would literally be
Shaking around?
Yeah, I would be shaking shit up.
Yeah.
I always do, right?
Yeah.
And then what's funny though is when I'm home, and that starts to happen when the medicine wears off.
Yeah.
My kids will grab a shake, start shaking, and hand it to me. They're like, "Dad," yeah, they're like this, and they're like, "Dad, can you hold this?" And I'm like, they're like, "Okay, put it down."
He's like the original ninja blender.
Yeah. Or or they'll ask me. My wife will go, "Hey, if you want something, go ask Dad," because my head's going like this.
Oh, he'll always say yes.
Always say yes. Like he always says yes.
That's great.
So with that, you know, it's again, you get diagnosed these things, like you know more than anyone.
Mm-hmm.
And this was right after I won the Universe, 2020. But I guess I'll take you guys back a little bit to where on how I got to where I am today. Long story short, grew up in upstate New York. Played football, played college football, left college football on a full scholarship to literally become a dishwasher at a place called Chi-Chi's Mexican Restaurant in Pittsburgh. For me, it was kind of I just knew it was my path. So during that journey, I went from a dishwasher, busboy. As a matter of fact, one time I was working at Chi-Chi's dishwashing, one of the prep guys called off. And they're like, "Zoawa, we need you to make salsa." I was like, "Salsa?" Like, I get to work with jalapenos. That's why jalapeno is my favorite word.
Right.
Jalapenos, and they're like, "Get in there." And I made $365 an hour, got shot up to $380 an hour, and thought I was the man.
Big bucks.
So I was cooking, loved it, enjoyed it, the whole nine. And then from there, it went from there to bar back, to bartender, to cooking in the line, to then me working at a Scandinavian Health Club. I don't know if you ever remember that. Oh yeah. And sorry guys, just a huge giant yacht just went by.
Yeah, sorry guys, we have to film outside.
And big yacht, like old school. I think it's even tilted this way. And it was crazy because I was working at Scandinavian Health Club, just cleaning machines in the morning. I was working at GNC part-time and working in the restaurants. Which, if you flash forward now, I'm an international, celebrity fitness chef. I'm a master international trainer,
Right.
and a nutritionist, all that, not a nutrition, but a nutrition coach. But the thing is it took all those elements, supplements, all that kind of stuff, and brought it into one.
Right.
So as I went my journey, I've been all over the United States, ran big companies like Dave & Buster's, TGI Fridays, Planet Hollywood, ran some of the biggest nightclubs in the United States. Yo-yo dieted then my entire life, like probably all of you have. Yo-yo dieted, yo-yo diet, yo-yo. But I was in shape, out of shape, in shape, out of shape, in
Right.
shape, out of shape. Drinking, a lot. So people can identify, that was me. I never went to classes, so I guess I wasn't an alcoholic. But, ran nightclubs in Miami, Tampa, all over the place. And I went deep, man. My kids know the whole story.
Yeah.
So when someone will say, "Hey, dude, we heard your dad." No, yeah, we know
Yeah.
the whole story.
Yeah.
Because I think what happens is these so-called influencers now, what happens is they want to paint the picture like it's perfect.
Right.
And none of us are perfect.
Nope.
It's not going to happen. And I saw myself looking at these perfect people going, "Well, what can you offer me?"
Right.
Like, you don't know my struggle.
Right.
So I was divorced, like a lot of you. I was divorced, met my wife now, who is, she's from Laos. We're going on 23 years. And my life changed instantaneously. And when I say that, I mean, when I met her, my entire existence on this planet changed. Meaning, I knew I needed to be a better man.
Yeah.
Even though I was making a ton of money, doing all this, I knew I needed to be a better man. And started to evolve. At this point, I was 300 plus pounds. We were in Scottsdale, Arizona. She's like, "Hey, I got an offer." She's in the banking industry. She's like, "Hey, we're going to go to Charlotte, North Carolina. I got an offer with Wachovia as a big wig, big senior analyst there." And I'm like, "I'm not going to Charlotte. Like, why would I go to? I'm in Scottsdale."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Let's go." So we go, and I'm sitting around not knowing what to do. And she said, "You know what? You should be a trainer." And I was like, what do you mean? She goes, you'd be a trainer. So we lived in uptown Charlotte, so I decided to go work for the YMCA.
Right.
I was the guy now retired, cleaning the machines.
Right.
Total humbleness.
Right.
Like cleaning the machines,
Yeah.
talking to people. Next thing
You
you know,
gotta start from the
yeah,
bottom.
Yeah,
man,
you
literally.
get in there, you get humble, and you start listening to people. You know, because when I do what I do, I don't give people what I want to give them.
Yeah.
I give them what they've asked for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without them asking me, I know what they're asking for. So I started losing all the weight. So me being a chef, I loved all this crazy food that when I was running all the restaurants. So I said one day, I said, I wonder if I could change the food to make it look the same, taste the same, but be better for me.
Right.
But that was the key word. Listen to this word, people. Better. Better. Not perfect, better. I knew I could be better. I knew I couldn't be perfect. I knew if I went on a diet, I'd fail.
Right.
The yo-yo diet. So I said, okay. So my wife, again, being Asian, we had spring roll wraps in the house. And I'm like, I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, I'm really craving a cheeseburger right now from McDonald's. Double cheeseburger. By the way, I don't say it don't go. I say don't go all the time. Because if I do go,
Right.
I sure as hell ain't getting no salad.
Yeah.
Right? That's like a disrespect to the client,
Right,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly,
Like,
yeah,
come
yeah.
on now. Let's go in there. I usually get 3 double cheeseburgers, a family fry, and of course water, because I don't want those calories.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, it's like, if you're gonna dip your foot in the pool, jump in.
Just jump right in. And I only do it, once in a while.
Yeah.
But at this point, when I was, let me backtrack just a little bit, I was diagnosed with severe type 2 diabetes.
Right.
To the point of my toes were turning colors. Like, it was, because people ask me all the time, what made you change? Nothing made me change. Death made me change.
Yeah.
Like, I had to equate, if I don't change, I'm gonna die.
Yep. There you go,
If
man.
I don't change, I'm going to die. The brain, and again, I'm back with Ohio State and whatnot, and we study food psychology, fitness psychology, and pleasure and pain. The brain only works off of 2 things, pleasure and pain. Does everything to gain pleasure, does everything to avoid pain.
Yeah.
So when I made the first item, which was crazy, I was like, I want a cheeseburger. But I wonder if I could put it in that spring roll. So I went to McDonald's, got a cheeseburger, took it apart, analyzed everything, we call it de-engineering the food, de-engineered it, said, okay, the pickle's got to be this size, the onions got to be cooked this much, got to be this size, the cheese has to be this, and I get ground turkey and light American cheese, not fat-free, that's worse for you, turned it, made it up, made like a low-fat Big Mac sauce, do some lettuce in there, and bit it, and I was like,
there it is.
And my wife's like, what are you looking for? I said, I'm looking for a mirror. She's like, why? I said, because I'm going to kiss myself. This shit's out of control. Yeah. So I said, what if I can do it with this? What if I can do it for this? Well, now I'm at the Y, I became a trainer. My first client walked in, and I'm still good friends with him, David Yen. He's an amazing human being, Asian guy, type 2 diabetic. He walked in and said, does anybody here know about diabetes? And they were like, yeah, that guy right there. Yeah. And I remember David and I laugh about it because the first thing he'd like to run. And the first thing I told him is stop running. I said, think about this, people. When have you ever watched the Animal Channel and see a lion, cheetah, elephant look at each other and go, yo, bro, what you think, 20 miles today?
Yeah.
Come on.
Conserve it.
Yeah, they're like, no, conserve the energy, right? It's fast motions.
Yeah.
Well, 2 days later, I walked in. He didn't know I was going to be there, and he's on the treadmill.
Yeah.
And I said, David, I'm going to get your money. Here's your money back. And he's like, what? Like, Tom, what? And I'm like, dude, if you're not going to do what I'm showing you, notice I didn't say tell you what to do. I'm going to show you what to do. Then I don't want you as a client. I'd rather give you your money back.
Right.
So go die.
Right.
And he begged me for a week.
Yeah.
And so we took him on. I took him on. And now as I'm starting to gain these clients in there, everybody was looking, all the other trainers were looking at my food, going, what the hell is this guy eating?
Yeah.
And this is going somewhere. Like, it's really, this is how it started. And so I started making this food. One of my other trainers' clients said, hey, do you think he could cook for me? So he came up to me and goes, hey, do you ever do private chef for people? I never did. And I'm like, oh yeah, absolutely, let's do this. Yeah. So I went to their house, amazing home near South Park. There were some people in there that I didn't know who they were. And these were big name people, right? So I'm making spring rolls and all this stuff, and they're like, okay, we're in. So I started cooking for Barry and his family. His kids went to Country Day. Yeah. Someone else found out that I was doing it, so they wanted it. Yeah. Now I was cooking for all these families. I was cooking for some of the Carolina Panthers. I was in South Park magazine, all these different magazine covers of that new guy making better food. Not perfect food, and no, I have never, ever, and I'll say it again, never, ever, ever have counted a calorie or a macro. I love people, what's your macros? Yeah. What's your macros? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
What I did was I learned about my body.
We talked about that, I think a couple of weeks ago, and it's I think it's just important. What's best for you?
What's best for you?
What works for you? Because
That's
not
it.
everybody can follow the same guidelines to make them into that person.
No.
There's only one of you.
That's it.
And here's the coolest thing about you, Tom, that I love is, you know, 99.9% of people that are diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, whatever, they're going to just sit back. They're just going to let it take over.
Yeah.
That's the one thing with me. I'll never forget the day when when my son said, "I can't watch you like this."
Right, can't watch you
die. And that's
when
I just mentally
And that's
flipped the
basically what he
switch.
said. Dad, I can't watch you die.
No, that's it. So whatever you have, you know, live with it and deal with it and overcome it the best you can. Listen, some things we're limited to. We can't overcome. But
exactly, and get it, Chris, where there's no box.
Yeah.
You're not in the box. You're not out the box. There is no box.
Yeah.
So then, as I'm doing this and I'm cooking for these people, everyone wanted me to do a cookbook, and I said no. I wanted to do a DVD series.
Yeah.
And they're like, no one would invest in me.
Right.
We just built a house.
Yeah.
I'm like, honey, guess what? We're gonna sell everything, and I'm gonna do this. And she goes, well, I was on some TV shows, so I knew about filming. I said, I'll direct it, I'll produce it, the whole nine. And they were like, well, so where are you gonna get it? And I said, Walmart. And we ended up getting it at Walmart, right? Yeah. So now all the food on there was 52 recipes. And here's another thing, and I'm going with all these little tidbits of, everyone said, Tom, you got to be wealthy to be healthy, right? Here it is. Well, for me to be healthy, it costs every single food on my DVD. Yeah. You could buy with food stamps. I grew up on food stamps. Yeah. You could buy with WIC. Yeah. So now as I'm doing what I'm doing, I decided one day I'm done with Walmart, which no one says that to Walmart. Yeah. I said, I'm going to be out. I said, I'm going to start my own nutrition company. And I did. We got in Vitamin Shop. And learned some valuable lessons about business partners at that point, which was great because where we're going now. But as this was all going, my wife, 3 kids, 3 C-sections, a refugee from Laos, and grew up though in the States. She comes to me one day and says, I'm going to compete. This is before I even thought about it. Yeah. And I'm like, what do you mean? She goes, I'm going to compete in Master Bikini. And I'm like, okay. So you want me to coach you? She goes, no. I'm going to do this. So here is a mom. Now my wife's now 46. She started competing in her late 30s, early 40s, 3 kids, 3 C-sections. They said, and listen to the ladies, listen to this. They say, you'll never have abs. Your kids did this to you. You're never going to be in shape. Well, guess what? My wife has won multiple Master Bikini shows with a 10-pack. Yeah. Not a 6 or 8, but a 10. She was genetically gifted with a 10-pack.
Go tell everybody your Instagram and everything while we're on that, so you guys can actually go.
Yeah, I just started back up Instagram. We got rid of a ton, millions of people. It's just official _Zawawa, ZWAWA. And then I have an app coming out that's called Zabel Life, ZAB, just like it sounds, ZabelLife.com. And this is all going to be in there. So as my wife was winning, she's won. My son came to me one day, my young guy, and goes, Dad, why does mom have 3 kids and 3 C-sections and she competes with a 10-pack and you're the expert, got a no-pack? I was like, what?
You got no
like,
excuses.
oh, dude, he just like, boom, he just scored me, man. I couldn't get mad. I'm like, oh, man, I taught him too good.
Yeah.
So that's when I get dropped on my social media and everything, which everyone went crazy. And I said, I'm going to compete in Masters Physique, board shorts, because I like that look, on the board shorts. My first show, no macro counting, no cardio, no peak week, won the North Carolina State Championships, right? After that, the following year, placed 3rd in North America. They said I should have won. You look at the pictures, I should have won. Yeah. But I said, no, because there'd be no Wacky 2, right? Yeah. These things have to evolve like that. So the 3rd one, they just started COVID. They moved the Universe, which is the biggest show, from New Jersey to Charleston.
Right.
And I never forget it, man. I'm sitting there and my wife looks at me and goes, win. I was like, are we in the Rocky movie?
Yeah.
She's like, win, Tom, win. And I was like, oh, let's go. Yeah. And just started grinding again and understanding human physiology. You and I trained yesterday. Yeah. You understand what we're saying. That'll be a different video. And was backstage at the Universe, going to compete in Masters over 50, which I have to win my height class and the overall to get my pro card. Never in my wildest. Everyone always told me before, and you'd never do it, Tom. You won't do it. Yeah. You know how it is, people. You can't because they won't. Yeah. That's the difference. Yeah. I'm backstage asking people, hey, do I look fat? With like a 5% body fat, just shredded, and won, and became an IFBB. I love this. I got 2 of these. An IFBB pro athlete, and I just turned 59.
That's amazing.
So, you know, again, people, it's this thing about when I was diagnosed with the brain disease, I was suffering seizures, I had emergency gallbladder surgery. This all happened in 1 year. Emergency gallbladder surgery, had diagnosed with this, had left ventricle hypertrophy after the C thing, ended up with pulmonary fibrosis. Like, literally, I've died a few times in front of my family. I understand now there's purpose, like you. You know, when we first met, remember? I know exactly where we were and exactly how it happened.
Golf course,
right at the golf course. And no, I wasn't golfing, neither was he.
I was rangering.
He was rangering, and I was just going for my walk. And you know, now I look at people, Chris, and even we talked yesterday, I look at people in the gym and I feel, I'm like, just ask for help. Like, honestly, I'm not asking people now to be the best version of me. I'm about getting ready for my first pro show. I'm going to do 4 pro shows this year in the World Championships. Why? Why not? You know, why not? And this is just show people that it can happen. But here's the thing, people. Don't be me. Don't be Chris, like you said earlier. Just be the best version of you. But when I talk, I'm not the guy that's sitting there going with my, and didn't I say this yesterday? I have no opinions when it comes to fitness and food.
Absolutely,
It's either science or it's not. This is the human physiology, human body. So why would you stand on the bozo ball with one leg and do curls? That makes no sense. Like, things make no sense. Like, and I know Chris is he'll get mad at me at this one, but I'm like, I don't understand why guys over 40, right? Especially over 40, you all stand by the Smith machine. Like, you line up on the wall. I'm done with my whole workout already. You're still standing there, and I'm like, not you, other people, right? Because my boy right here.
I'll never wait.
And I'm like,
I'll never wait. I will use the Smith machine.
Yeah, he used it, and we talked about that. I use it for shrugs. But I'm like, why are you bench pressing? Well, you know, I'm working chest. No, your chest is not working. You're working tricep, shoulders, then chest. And then it's locking in as we get older. Because here's the saying that Chris and I talked about is, and we got some big, nice, high-end yacht coming by. Oh no, this is one of those sports yachts. What do they call those things?
Little scat pack.
Little scat pack. So we all have to get older, right? We'll say it again. We all have to get older, but we don't have to get old. Someone said to me the other day, why don't you start dressing your age? I was like, what the hell does that mean? Khakis and a polo shirt with a big gut sticking out? No.
You gotta have the belt up here.
Because guys, if you use the man bod on me, oh, my wife likes the man bod. No, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. Trust me, she doesn't. And I'll leave with this because see, I don't shut up, right?
Yeah, that's great.
What I want you guys to do tonight, and I appreciate Chris bringing me on here. What I want you to do tonight, and this is the hardest thing I had to do. When I needed to change, I looked in the mirror. Now, when I say look in the mirror, I don't mean look in the mirror. I mean look in the mirror. Grab what you don't like. Grab it, squeeze it real hard, and know you can be the best version of you. But if you don't accept it, because I told Chris this too, when I did the universe, I was so angry backstage after I won my pro card. And someone was like, why? I was crying, of course, because it was a big deal. I said, because I knew I only went 60%. Shout out to David Goggins. I watched David Goggins and I'm like, oh my God, I went 60%. I trained shoulders last week. Remember I told you this? I was driving home, turned around and came back. Said, dude, get back in there and do this shit right. So that's all we're saying is, I'm in the gym 5 days a week.
That's so,
maybe 45 minutes.
That's so crazy because, you know, Tom's in a different league than me altogether, obviously. But that mental
Chris
state,
can spell there, and there correctly. Where, I can't.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Like I said, we're in a different category. But I do the same thing. Like, I'll work out in the morning. I told you yesterday, I just came back up. Saturdays, sometimes I'll work something, but I hit chest the day before and I wasn't happy with it. And yesterday, I wanted to hit it again. And Tom gave me grief for being on the Smith machine. But
exactly.
See, I don't have a spotter or anybody like that, so I got to be careful. Err on the side of caution. But, guys, we're running almost at 20 minutes. I appreciate Tom so much.
Happens, man.
Follow him, though, guys. I know you look at, if you just see Tom, you know, sometimes you don't realize everybody has a story. I tell people all the time, tell your story, because you never know whose life you're going to touch in a positive way.
That's right. And tell yourself the story. Tell yourself your own story, and you be the director of your life.
And you, what you said is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to ask for help.
No, fail was great. I failed immensely.
I am like,
I've lost everything. I've lost everything multiple times, bro. Like lost it all. And guess what? That's where you got to be. You got to be in that spot, so you know how to get out of that spot.
I was just on the last video I made. Winston Churchill has a quote. I think I might have told you this before. Success is not final. failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts, and that's exactly what you're saying.
Exactly.
So
My
when
nickname,
you're knocked
guys.
down-
My nickname too, just so you know. And I know you guys can do this. Like, look at this profile. They call me the Vanilla Gorilla, aka Billy G. He can call me Billy G because he knows me.
Yeah, we're gonna get some T-shirts made. But guys,
Exactly.
thank you so
Hey,
much.
man,
Seriously,
appreciate you
follow
guys.
Tom. Check out his Instagram. Check out everything. He's training hard. He's gonna be doing a competition.
St.
in
Petersburg
St.
Pro,
Pete,
June
18
29th.
weeks. So, guys, amazing. I respect the hell out of him. He's an inspiration to me. Thank
here,
you. I
man. Love
appreciate
seeing
you,
you,
my
bro.
brother. Yes, sir.
See, old school. Look at that. Old
Yes,
school
sir.
handshakes.
Yeah, he's my dog. So appreciate it.